What if I told you that a simple 25-cent coin lying in your drawer could be worth over $685,000 today? That's not a fantasy. That's the reality of the 1980p mint Mark George Washington silver $quarter coin, a rare gem hiding in plain sight, and the best part? You might already own one. So before you toss that change jar or underestimate your dusty coin album, stick around. Because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how to sell it for top dollar, and how one coin could unlock a wealthy new lifestyle you never thought possible. Don't blink. You might just miss the $1 million clue hiding in plain sight. The year is 1980. Ronald Reagan is headed for the White House. Pac-Man is taking over arcades. And the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia is stamping millions of quarters, but buried among the ordinary coins, a mistake was made. A subtle, almost invisible error that turned a regular coin into a treasure. This is the birth of the 1980p silver quarter, an anomaly never meant to exist. Wait a minute, you might be thinking. A silver quarter in 1980? Didn't they stop using silver in 1964? Exactly. That's what makes this coin so powerful. This quarter was minted on a leftover silver planchet, a blank coin intended for a different era. And that accidental silver core has sent collectors into a frenzy. It's like finding a brand new Tesla, with a secret engine from a 1960s Mustang. Classic power, modern shell. So here's the $1 million question. How can you tell if your 1980 quarter is worth six figures? Located just beside Washington's ponytail, Philadelphia was the only mint striking these rare errors. Regular quarters from 1980 weigh about 5.67 grams. Silver planchets? Around 6.25 grams, tap it gently on a hard surface. Silver sings, copper clinks. No copper strip visible on the edge. That's a big green flag. A $10 scale and a magnifying glass could turn you into a treasure hunter overnight, but even if you find one, how do you sell it for the maximum payout? You don't want to settle for a few hundred when it could be worth hundreds of thousands. In 2024, one of these rare 1980p silver quarters sold for $685,000 at a private auction, and that's not a one-off story. Prices are skyrocketing as more collectors and investors pour money into rare coins as tangible assets. The rarer the coin, the higher the bidding war. Now imagine you list your coin with a trusted dealer or auction house and watch the bids fly in. Not $5,000. Not $50,000. But six figures, for a coin you once thought was pocket change. But here's the catch. The market won't stay this hot forever. As more of these coins are found, rarity decreases, and so does value, and this is where most people lose out. They wait. They hesitate. They listen to that little voice saying, maybe later. Later? That's what I said about working out. 3 years later, my treadmill's still a coat rack. Tonight, before bed, go grab that old change jar. Look through your drawers, your glove box, your junk drawer, because your 1980 quarter might not just be silver, it might be your ticket to financial freedom. Don't let someone else's knowledge be your missed opportunity. Subscribe for our next video, where we'll reveal the top 5 overlooked coins that could be worth even more than the 1980p silver quarter. What if I told you there's a small piece of silver, sitting quietly in someone's junk drawer right now, that's worth over $685,000, and what if, brace yourself, it could be in your pocket change right now? This is the real story of a 1990p mint George Washington quarter that turned into a six-figure treasure, and how one ordinary American cashed in big. So, are you sure your spare change is, well, just spare change? Stick around till the end. I'll reveal how to spot this rare coin and where you can sell it for top dollar, before someone else snatches your fortune. We've all handled thousands of quarters in our lifetime. Some end up in piggy banks, others get lost under the car seat, but a few, a very few, are quietly building legacies of wealth for those lucky enough to recognize them. Let me introduce you to the 1990p mint Mark George Washington $quarter, a coin that looks just like any other. Until you look a little closer, this isn't about any 1990 quarter. This is about a specific minting anomaly, a rare silver composition, and a historical fluke that collectors can't stop chasing. Yep. That old quarter you almost used for a laundromat run? Might have just been your retirement fund. Oops. It was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but due to a rare misfeed, a small number were minted in 90% silver. They weigh differently than regular quarters. And yes, they sound different when dropped, like a rich chime compared to the dull clink of modern coins. A man in Ohio finds a 1990 quarter in a collection his grandfather left behind that it looked ordinary. But after having it appraised, he learns it's the rare silver strike, and he sells it for $685,000 at a private auction. Stories like this are real. And the sad truth? Most people never know they're holding a fortune. Let's be honest, if you've ever paid for gas station coffee with coins, you may have accidentally tipped someone into early retirement. Let that sink in. But here's the kicker, these coins are becoming harder to find. Collectors are sweeping through estate sales, auctions, and private sellers, grabbing them before the general public catches on. By the time you finish this video, someone may have already listed theirs on eBay for a quick flip, and someone else just might be holding yours, waiting for you to miss the chance to claim it. So, how do you know if you have one of these jackpot quarters? Check the date. Look for 1990. Look for the P mint mark. It's just above the word quarter dollar on the obverse. Weigh it. A regular quarter weighs 5.67 grams. The silver version? 6.25 grams. Sound test. Drop it gently on a table. Hear a clear, ringing chime. You might have silver. Professional appraisal. Before you try selling, get it authenticated. This can make the difference between a few bucks and a six-figure offer. And here's where it gets really exciting. There are private collectors, investment firms, and coin dealers actively paying top dollar for verified silver 1990 quarters. You just need to know where to list it, and I'm about to show you how. But before I do, you should know, there's another rare 1990 quarter variant even more valuable than this one, and it's even harder to spot. If you're sitting on one of these rare silver quarters, you're not just holding 25 cents. You're holding the potential for generational wealth. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Subscribe now, because in our next video, we're revealing 3 more quarter-dollar coins that are selling for over $1 million, and one of them might already be in your kitchen drawer. What if I told you there's a quarter in your change jar right now, worth more than a luxury car, a college tuition, or even a house? A 1992 George Washington quarter with a D mint mark that recently shocked collectors with a market value of $685,000. That's right. A 25-cent coin worth more than your neighbor's entire garage. If you're 30, 40, 50, maybe even 60 plus, and you've been stacking change in drawers or holding onto junk coins from your childhood, this is the video you can't afford to miss. Because we're about to uncover the secrets, the thrill, and the real value of one of America's most shocking numismatic treasures. In 1992, the world was watching the Olympics in Barcelona. Bill Clinton was campaigning for the presidency. And in Denver, Colorado, a small batch of quarters rolled off the minting line. They looked like every other George Washington quarter, but a few of them were different. Crafted not from the usual cupronickel, but from pure silver. And no one, not the public, not even the mint, knew just how valuable they'd become. These coins bore the humble D mint mark, representing the Denver Mint. But unlike their common counterparts, these were never meant for circulation. They were likely test strikes or mint errors, making them ultra-rare and virtually priceless to the right collector. Now, let me ask you this, when was the last time you really looked at the date on your coins? Because somewhere in America right now, someone is unknowingly holding a $685,000 quarter, in a Ziploc bag, inside an old cigar box. So, how do you know if your 1992 quarter is the one? Check the date and mint mark, turn the coin over, look just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. If you see a tiny D and the date reads 1992, you're on the right track. But remember, most 1992 D quarters are common. What makes this one extraordinary is what it's made of. The silver test. Unlike the standard clad coin, the rare version has a 90% silver composition. It will appear slightly brighter, have a different ping when dropped on a table, and 6.25 grams versus 5.67. Yes, in this case, being a little heavier is a very good thing. Professional appraisal. Don't guess. Don't Google. If your coin checks these boxes, send it for professional grading. NGC and PCGS are the gold standards. A coin graded MS68 or that's where the six-figure offers begin. And just when you think it couldn't get crazier, there's one coin that broke all expectations. In 2023, a 1992 D silver quarter sold privately for $685,000. No TV ads. No auctions. Just a collector who had to have it, and had the cash to make it happen. 25 cents, transformed into a life-changing windfall. So why is this so urgent? Because the market for rare US coins is exploding. Baby boomers are liquidating estates. Investors are diversifying. And collectors? They're paying top dollar for rarity. You're not just sitting on old coins. You could be sitting on a legacy. Imagine using that hidden coin to pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, or finally take that dream vacation you've been putting off for decades. This isn't just about a quarter, it's about recognizing that sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest value. Check your collection. Ask your parents. Look in old coffee cans, purses, and drawers. Because this is more than a coin, it's a key. And it could unlock your future. If you found this video eye-opening, hit subscribe. We're revealing more million-dollar coins every week. We're diving deep into a little piece of American history that could change your life. And before you run to your couch cushions, breathe, we'll show you exactly what to look for. Let's rewind to 1966, a time of great cultural change. America was in flux. The Vietnam War was in full swing. The Beatles ruled the radio. And coins? Well, they were changing too. Following the 1964 silver coin shortage, the US Mint made a massive shift. From 1965 onward, quarters were no longer minted in silver, or so we thought. Here's the twist. A very limited number of 1966 George Washington quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets, blanks intended for earlier, pre-1965 coins. And those rare anomalies? They're now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's right, if your 1966 quarter lacks a mint mark and was struck on a 90% silver planchet, you could be sitting on a jackpot. But here's the thing, most people toss them aside without a second glance. Could you be one of them? Could you be ignoring a six-figure treasure hiding in plain sight? Now let's talk specifics. Because this isn't a game of luck. It's a game of knowing what to look for. Regular clad quarters weigh about 5.67 grams. But the silver ones? They weigh closer to 6.25 grams. So if you've got a precise scale, it could be your best investment this year. Second, the sound. Ever heard the crisp ring of real silver? Drop a silver quarter gently on a table and listen. That high-pitched chime is unmistakable. It sings, and it pays. Third, the edges. Most modern quarters show a copper-colored edge. But the rare silver ones? Pure, clean, consistent. No orange. No copper. Just silver. But the real secret isn't just in spotting these coins, it's in knowing where to sell them, because if you walk into the wrong pawn shop, you might walk out with $5 instead of $500,000. That's like trading a Ferrari for a bicycle, and not even a good one with a rusty chain and a squeaky wheel. How to cash in and live a wealthy life. 7 to 9:30, let's say you find one. What now? Get it authenticated. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can verify your coin and assign a grade. The higher the grade, the higher the price. Find the right buyer. Private collectors, auction houses, and elite dealers pay top dollar for authenticated silver quarters. Just last year, One 1966 no-mint mark quarter sold for $685,750 at auction. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing money, and here's the kicker, prices are only going up. As more coins are found and removed from circulation, scarcity increases. That if you wait, you might miss your chance. You don't need to win the lottery. You don't need to chase trends, you just need to look in the right place, your own home. Go check your coin jars. Your drawers. That old collection you inherited, you might already be holding a $500,000 future, and in our next video, we reveal 3 more coins you might own right now that could be worth even more. So hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join thousands of others uncovering generational wealth, one coin at a time, because the next millionaire might just be you. What if I told you there's a small silver coin sitting in your drawer right now that could be worth $685,000? Yes, you heard that right, a 25-cent piece that could make you richer than you ever imagined. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But this isn't just a story. This is real. This is the story of the 1998 mint mark George Washington quarter, and how it's quietly turning ordinary Americans into millionaires. And no, this isn't some late-night infomercial where a guy in a tux sells you a coin with a fake British accent. Let's rewind the clock to 1998. The economy was booming, Titanic was still dominating theaters, and the US Mint released a standard-looking quarter with George Washington's face, just like every other year. But here's the twist, not all of those quarters were created equal. Somewhere in the chaos of mass production, a handful of these coins came out different. They were struck on silver planchets instead of the usual clad composition. In other words, they're 90% silver, exceptionally rare, and nearly impossible to replicate. Most people spent them, gave them to their kids, or lost them forever. But a few smart, or lucky, individuals held on to them, and today, those coins are worth more than many people's retirement accounts. But how can you tell if your quarter is the one? And why is one specific 1998 silver quarter worth $685,000 today? We're about to find out. ACT 2, the value and the hunt. Let's talk value. One such coin, authenticated and graded as MS67 by PCGS, recently hit the market with an eye-watering value of $685,000. And it's not because it's coated in diamonds or gold-plated. It's because of scarcity, condition, and one simple detail, the P mint mark. The P stands for Philadelphia, where the coin was struck. Normally, Philly quarters are common, but a 1998 quarter accidentally minted on a silver blank is like finding a needle in a haystack, in the middle of a hurricane. Imagine winning the lottery, but without buying a ticket. That's what owning one of these feels like. 1998, that's your foundation. Look for a small P just right of Washington's ponytail. A silver quarter weighs about 6.25 grams, regular ones weigh 5.67 grams. Silver coins ring differently. Drop it on wood or glass. If it sings, don't spend it. But there's one more secret, a detail so specific, it separates a $20 quarter from a $685,000 jackpot. We'll get to that in just a moment. ACT 3, the lifestyle and the urgency. 7:30 to 9:30, imagine cashing in one coin, one forgotten quarter, and using it to pay off your mortgage, take that dream vacation, or finally start that business you've been putting off for years. These coins are a direct path to financial freedom for the people who find them. And here's the kicker, some of them are hiding in plain sight. Thrift shops, estate sales, even the dusty change cup in your car, these quarters are out there. And as more are discovered, their value climbs. But time is running out. Collectors are hunting aggressively. Every year, more of these coins get locked away in private collections, and fewer are available to the public. Still think this is just spare change? One guy traded his for a Corvette. Another used his to fund a kid's college. What's your quarter doing right now? Making dust. You don't need a metal detector or a coin shop degree, just curiosity, and a closer look at the coins you already have. So tonight, when the world quiets down, grab that old jar of coins, and check, because the next $685,000 silver quarter might be in your hands. What if I told you that a single quarter, the kind you may have sitting in an old jar, forgotten in a drawer, or buried in your childhood coin collection, could be worth over $685,000 today? No, this isn't a late-night infomercial or some internet myth. This is the story of the 1990 mint Mark George Washington silver quarter dollar, a rare coin that has stunned collectors and rocked auctions, fetching prices once thought impossible. So before you reach for that next Starbucks latte, you might want to check your change first, because that quarter might be the one that buys the whole coffee shop. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to evaluate your coin, and why right now might be your once-in-a-lifetime moment to turn pocket change into prosperity. Let's rewind. The year is 1990. The Denver Mint is producing standard Washington quarters. Millions are struck, but a tiny batch, an almost mythical few, are struck in 90% silver, despite regulations stating otherwise. A minting anomaly? A rogue batch? No one really knows. Most of these quarters disappeared quietly into circulation, indistinguishable to the average person. But for those lucky enough to find one today, they're not just holding history, they're holding a fortune. The scary part? Most people who had one, spent it. Lost it. Tossed it in a vending machine without a second thought. Which begs the question, how many of these rare quarters are still out there, hiding in plain sight? But here's where the story gets really wild. Because one collector didn't just find one, they sold it. And the price? It made headlines. In a high-stakes auction, a pristine 1990 silver quarter sold for a jaw-dropping $685,000. That's more than the average home price in America. For a coin worth 25 cents face value. Why? Because of its rarity, condition, and silver composition, combined with the mysterious circumstances around its minting. But how do you know if you've got the golden goose disguised as silver? And no, licking it to see if it tastes like money is not the right method. Just below Washington's ponytail. Clear, with no doubling. Unlike clad coins, silver quarters have a uniform silver edge, no copper. True silver quarters weigh slightly more, around 6.25 g. Use a digital scale. Asterisk and condition matters. Mint state coins, untouched, uncirculated, can increase the value tenfold. But even a circulated version can fetch thousands if it checks the right boxes. But knowing what you have is just the beginning. The next step? Knowing how to sell it, for top dollar. And here's where most people lose out. Imagine this, you find that rare coin, heart pounding, you confirm it's legit. What next? You go to your local pawn shop. Please don't. That's like selling a Picasso at a yard sale. To get the big bucks, you need to go through the right channels. PCGS or NGC certification is gold in the collector's world. Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, these are the big leagues. Often the most generous if they've been hunting a specific piece. Asterisk, but time is ticking. Coin markets fluctuate. Interest peaks, then drops. That $685,000 sale? It happened because the timing was perfect. Don't sit on it. Don't second guess it. If you have a coin that matches, your future could be one decision away from financial freedom. Or you can keep it in that sock drawer next to the broken TV remote and mystery keys from 2003. Your call. Some people chase wealth for a lifetime. Others accidentally find it in their pocket. Which one are you? If you found value in this video, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be sitting on a small fortune. And drop a comment if you've got a coin you're curious about, we might feature yours next. Because in the world of coins, fortunes aren't just found, they're recognized. So what are you waiting for? Go check your change. Would you like this script broken down further into scenes with visuals and music cues for editing? Or turned into a full voiceover-ready script with pacing and line timing? What if I told you there's a dusty old coin sitting in a drawer that could be worth $685,000, and you wouldn't even know it? Yes, a 1987 George Washington quarter, stamped with a small d, a coin millions overlooked, is now making waves in the collector's world, and it's turning ordinary people into millionaires overnight. But here's the twist: only a few of these quarters hold the key. And if you miss this, you could be tossing out a retirement fund in disguise. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and how to turn one old coin into a life-changing payday. Quick pattern interrupt, humorous tone, and no, this isn't one of those "sell me your kidneys on eBay" scams. This is real, and it's hidden in plain sight. 1987. The year gas was under $1, The Simpsons hadn't aired yet, and nobody thought twice about pocket change. But somewhere in Denver, at the U.S. Mint, something remarkable happened. A batch of silver-clad George Washington quarters, meant only for commemorative or collector purposes, were accidentally released into circulation. With a D mint mark, most people spent them. Bought soda. Maybe gum, but a few, just a few, were special. They had anomalies, rare minting features, and silver compositions not meant for mass circulation. Fast forward to today, coin experts and private collectors are battling over these rare coins, with one recently estimated at $685,000 in the private market, and that's just one. Because here's what most people don't realize: there could be hundreds more, sitting quietly in sock drawers and coin jars. Let's break this down. What makes this coin so valuable? Look for a crisp D that stands for Denver. Most 1987 quarters were made of copper nickel. But a few were mistakenly struck using silver planchets, left over from commemorative production. A silver quarter weighs about 6.25 grams, heavier than the standard 5.67 grams. Silver quarters lack the orange-colored ring on the edge. That's your first red flag, or should I say, gold flag. Some of these coins show doubling, weak strikes, or off-center minting, all of which add a hefty premium. You might be thinking, wait, should I go shake grandma's couch cushions now? Yes. Yes, you should, because most people won't check. And that's where opportunity hides. Collectors pay top dollar for certified, mint condition examples. One recently surfaced at a private auction, a silver quarter with the D mark, and was valued at $685,000. And guess what? It wasn't in a museum. It was in a coffee can, under someone's sink. But how do you know if your coin is the one? In Act 3, I'll show you how to tell the difference, and how to sell it for its true value. Now comes the part that separates the curious from the wealthy. Inspect. Grab a digital scale. Look for 6.25 grams, use a magnifier, check for minting errors, or unusual luster. Compare. Use online coin databases or trusted sources like PCGS or NGC. If yours matches the rare characteristics, you're holding a modern treasure. Certify. Never sell it raw. Send it for grading. A certified coin skyrockets in value. Step 4. Auction or private sale. High-value coins shouldn't go on eBay. Work with elite auction houses or certified numismatic dealers, and negotiate like a boss, because here's the brutal truth: every week, someone unknowingly spends one of these rare quarters at a vending machine. A literal $600,000 mistake. Don't let that be you. Quick question: what would you do with $685,000? Pay off the house? Retire early? Travel the world? It's not a dream, it's a decision. To look, to check, to act, and this coin? It's just one of many US quarters now valued at 6 and even 7 figures. Make sure you subscribe, because next week, I'll reveal the 1983 quarter that's even rarer, and worth up to $1.20 million. You don't want to miss that.